Guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another Doctor Who video, which I'm going to be talking about the Robot Revolution Season 2 Episode 1. And yeah, so basically this is just my first thoughts on the episode. Just raw, organic first thoughts on the episode. And I'm going to say, this episode started out quite well for me, but as the episode went on, there was definitely a few things that I caught on which kind of ruined the episode a bit. It definitely dampened the episode down a little bit for me, and turned what could have been a genuinely top tier Doctor Who episode into just a mid episode. And I've seen already that a bunch of people online have been saying, oh, this is like one of the best Ncuti Gatwa episodes, and like, oh, this is a really, really good episode. But I mean, as somebody who has worked on countless films before, you know, somebody who's actually written stuff myself, and I suppose been in sort of that sort of thing, you do poke holes in like films and series, especially, you know, for example, like mainly to do with the writing side of things, if anything. I mean, obviously, if there's like bad CGI work and stuff like that, it's very, very easy for us to pick that out because we kind of work with that kind of stuff anyway. But yeah. So, my thoughts on this episode. I'm going to be doing basically, just quickly before I do give my full thoughts on this episode, I am going to be doing a full in-depth review very, very soon on this episode. And I'm going to be sitting down, rewatching the entire episode, taking notes and points and all that kind of stuff, and then I'm going to present that to you guys in a full video. So, if you want that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and like this video, because that video is coming very, very soon. And you don't want to miss it, because I'm going to cover every single point that I have on this episode and do it in immense detail. So if you want to see that, then go ahead and, yeah, subscribe and wait for the video. But yeah, basically just a little overview on this episode. So, first of all, let's start with the good things that I thought this episode really, really did well. So, I've got to say, the full original sort of idea of, you know, let's start writing good points first. So, on the writing, I would say the setup of this episode is done really, really well. You have Belinda, who is kidnapped by these robots, and, you know, first things first is we are set up on Belinda, which makes us view this story through the eyes of the companion. And I think that is really, really good for a first-time companion episode, or just like an introduction to a companion, because it allows us as the audience to, you know, really connect with the companion and feel their thoughts a little bit easier than if we were to start off this episode with the Doctor. So, yeah, very, very cool idea and concept right there. All of the CGI and the set building and all of the costumes and all that kind of stuff was really, really well done. And I've got to give a huge prob to the whole special effects team that worked on this episode, because they absolutely killed the special effects in this episode, and especially such an action-packed episode. The one thing I can say about this episode is it was not dull. It was a good action-packed episode full of a ton of stuff which makes you sit on the edge of your seat and makes the episode fly by very, very quickly. So they are some very, very good points. Now, where the episode was let down for me is some of the writing points. For example, the Doctor later on in the episode basically the main overarching, like, a villain, as you could say as such, for this episode was a character called Al, who was also the AI generator person. Yeah, so basically he posed as this, like, big, you know, threat sort of thing, like somebody who controlled all the robots, etc., etc. And this person was a human and basically got killed off at the end of the episode, and then the Doctor just starts laughing and joking about it. And when I was watching this, I just sat there and thought, how uncharacteristic of the Doctor to do that. Because even though this character was a villain, and, this character was, essentially evil, the Doctor tries to save and really, preach forgiveness in certain ways to all people. Even bad people he's tried to save in the past. Look at Journey's End, where he tried to save Davros. The creator of the Daleks, the arch nemesis of the Doctor, and he stood there and was like, come with me, I can save you. That shows, the Doctor is, his morals are quite insane, to the point where, even if somebody has done wrong, he finds it within his heart, no pun intended, to essentially give everybody another chance. And in this episode, it was none of that. It was very much like, okay, this guy's a bad guy, we need to kill him, and then laugh about it afterwards. And yeah, that was very, very just uncharacteristic of the Doctor. Just didn't feel like the Doctor at all. In that situation, there were some parts where obviously Ncuti did feel like the Doctor, and a little bit more so, but that was one of them moments that just stood out to me as, okay, well, this part was quite poorly written, and it almost just felt like it was the writer almost pointing and laughing and getting his thoughts across, more so than trying to tell this story as, the Doctor and Doctor Who, which is a little bit odd, but yeah. However, it doesn't come to a surprise. It doesn't come as a surprise to me, because basically, throughout the whole of season 1 of Doctor Who, which was the previous season, it had this current problem where they tried to force things into episodes that just felt very poorly written in to essentially cater to as many different types of people as possible. And it was just really poorly done. It wasn't that well written at all in season 1 especially. I mean, and this episode does suffer from some of them things as well. I'm going to do a full breakdown in my full review, though, I think, on all of that kind of stuff, because there is a lot that I can talk about in that sort of section, and as well with more instances where writing could have been improved in this episode. But yeah, overall, I would say, in my opinion, this was a pretty mid-range episode. It wasn't the most terrible episode of Doctor Who I've ever watched, but it was by no means the best episode I've ever watched either. It definitely lacked in some parts, and, the start of the episode was really, really good. It looked really, really promising, and then it got to a certain point in the episode, and then they just started throwing thing after thing, and thing after thing into this, and then it just started going downhill, and then the end of the episode wrapped up, and it just felt, it's very, very difficult to explain, but I'm going to fully get some points together, as I said, for my full review. But yeah, that basically does it for the end of this little, overview of this episode. So if you are watching this right now and enjoyed this little video and want to watch my full review, then please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also smash a like on this video. And yeah, that's basically the end of this video. So thanks for watching, comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.